Hello everyone, it's Omae and welcome back to the brand new video. Now, there's a lot of big mistakes you can make as a new player, especially like even late game players might miss this and accidentally just feed in or sell these duplicates of Nestro. Because if you didn't know, we didn't get all the copies of Nestro in Blitz Battle. That was an error. And if you go into your mail today, you will find that you get 5 free copies of Nustro. If you didn't farm the Blitz yet, you can still. The missions to get Nustro have not ended yesterday. Those will last for another, how many days? A very long time. Let me see here. Until the 31st. So you have another like 13 days to go and farm Nustro up. 30 copies. I'm just giving one big suggestion. You can fight the lower difficulty. So what you should do is set Emu as your captain in one of your teams here, and then just insta clear the lower difficulty of Blitz. If you don't want to make a team, you can get 6 clears of that per day very easily, and you won't have to sweat trying to make a team. If you didn't touch Blitz, that's what I would advise if you want to get this new Nustro. But yes, we did get 5 copies in the mail, which you might think is perfectly what we need to max out Nustro, but no, they give us 2 extra copies that we don't need even after maxing out Nustro. As you can see here, mine is completely done. I gave him a limit break key, which is probably not the smartest idea, but he doesn't require the rainbow rumble keys. He only requires silver keys, which is why I gave it to him, and I think he'll be a beast in rumble, so that's why I did it. But I will be going through his abilities today, why you should keep these 2 unevolved copies and max out one of them, because we will get the super evolved form of Nustro in treasure map. Literally in the next few days we will be able to super evolve Nustro. And yeah, this character becomes an absolute beast. He's a 20 cost unit in Rumble, which makes him very good to run with the 5 elders team, and I'll explain how in a moment and why you should keep him unevolved. But first, let me just quickly power up the second variant of Nustro. Now, if you are going to give him the rumble limit break, then I definitely recommend doing that only for the 5+ variant, because the resistance, I'm pretty sure, gets a much better upgrade in the 5+ form. So for the 5-star form, it's not really that big of a deal. And also, I know a lot of new players are going to struggle to get these silver keys. They're actually the hardest to get as a new player. They just don't give out these a lot. Maybe the rumble keys are a bit harder to get, but I would say it's way easier for me to get the gold keys and also the treasure map keys. But yeah, those silver ones are a lot harder to get than you'd expect. But I digress. So this is going to be mainly focused in terms of Grand Party, because there's a lot of details here that is very easy to miss. So first off, Grand Party, if you haven't played Treasure Cruise before, it's the best of 3 fight, very similar to co-op duels. Instead of a co-op captain, we have a GP leader, Grand Party leader, and whoever you make as your leader, they give an extra captain ability in Rumble, which applies to all battles, and also a GP burst, which is like a co-op special, which can be a very powerful effect that can change the tide of your battle. Right now, in GP, every match you fight with 3 teams. You go in, of course, best of 3, and very easy detail to miss is that you can use a character twice in 2 different teams if they are in the different evolution states. So let me use PKA Lucci as an example. This is the PKA unit from last month. This unit, this is his 5-star form. We always get 1 extra copy of the PKA unit that you don't need to max out the initial copy. And then of course the 5+ Lucci, which I got from super evolving him in treasure map. So you can run these characters on the same lineup, obviously not on the exact same team. You can't run the same character name on one team, but across different teams here, you can 100% use the same unit if they are at different stages of the evolution tree. So that's quite important, very important detail for this new Nustro. So now let's talk about his teams. I will first discuss what he is exactly doing in Rumble though, and I'll also explain to you what he's doing with his super evolution form, because he does become a decent amount better. But his 5-star form initially before super evolution is still an amazing character. So of course his 20 cost, which opens so much doors for the 5 elders team. You want to be running 5 elder characters, and then the main issue with the initial 5 elders team is that everyone is 55 cost, so you could not run any bench units essentially. That was a big problem, and it still kind of is. You do want to be running Emu on this team. in reality. Instead of running those units on the bench, I'm just running that because I don't have Emu myself, but ideally you'd be putting someone like V2 Saturn on the first slot on the bench and then putting Emu on the main lineup. But if you don't have Emu, then I'm running someone like San Wolf on the first slot that will come in from the bench. He will provide amazing tankiness. S-Snake provides confusion, action bind, a lot of amazing debuffs, and then Pika is just a generally powerful unit. He's quite tanky himself. He provides buffs to the team also, I'm quite sure, as well as debuffs. But that's not the main point here. Nestro. He works with Driven, Slasher, and World Government characters. So when you're running this guy, just right off the cuff, you want to be running at least 5 World Government units or 6 Driven or Slasher characters, and that includes himself, of course. So there are 2 different types of teams this character can be ran on. One, the 5 Elders team. Of course, all the 5 Elders are World Government characters, and all of them are also Driven, so it fulfills both of those requirements. But also on the team with the new buggy. So I don't have it myself, so I'm just using this story mode buggy as an example. Of course, replacing him with the new 12th anniversary buggy. So the new buggy is Slasher and Driven, which of course goes really well with Nestro. And then you can run Nestro in place of that Psy one I put on the team. I also don't have the Super Evolution form yet, so yeah. Ideally, you'd put the Super Evolved form on the 5 Elders team, and then the 5-star form on Int Buggy's team. And then you can run characters like Roger Gaban, who's also Slasher, and then you can fill out the bench with other Slasher or Driven characters. So S-Hawk is easily still one of the greatest DPSs on the Int team. He does damage ignoring defense. He does interval healing, provides defense up, which is easily the best buff in Treasure Cruise in terms of Power Rumble anyways. And just overall a really powerful Slasher / Driven unit. And then I'm also running the first generation of Doria and Broggy. The second generation released alongside the Nika, Bonnie, and Kuma that you see on the team. But those Doria and Broggies, even though they're kind of better to run, they are not Slasher nor Driven. So we're running 3 Slasher Drivens on the bench, and then also Nestro himself is another one, Roger Gaban, and then also Buggy. That constitutes 6 Slasher Driven units, which allows you to get the full kit from Nestro. And then we're also running Kuma and Nika Bonnie. Yes, they do not get buffs from the Nestro, but they can handle themselves. They're already such a strong duo that I wouldn't really worry about it. But when it comes to what is Nestro doing in the first place, so his defense is quite low right now, but it does change with Super Evolution. It goes from 132 to 150, I'm pretty sure, and then his speed also gets a massive increase. Well, if you give him the Rumble Key, his defense and speed actually increases further. So with the Rumble Key in his Super Evolved state, he'll have more like 160, 165 defense. If you don't give him the Rumble Key, he'll have 150 defense. And for the speed, he'll have like 200 speed in his Super Evolution state if you give him the Rumble Key, which is so good. One of the highest speeds in the game, and a free-to-play unit, by the way. His HP stats, attack stats, and recovery stats are also really good for a free-to-play unit. Just in general, these are really good stats. He is doing a normal attack, power attack, and a full attack. If you don't know what this means, a normal attack is 0.3 times his attack in terms of damage. Power attack, 0.6, and then full attack is one times his damage. So just his full damage, that's what a full attack is. So he's going to be dealing 4,345, which is attack stat. Of course, this will get reduced with enemy defense up, but that's all you need to know about these behavior patterns, right? He will target the closest enemies and will have 60% chance to evade action bind. In his Super Evolved state, this will be 80%, which is really nice. And this will go up to 25% side damage reduction if you have the key in his Super Evolved state. And then his special, of course, and his passive. So his passive, first of all, Driven, Slasher, and World Government tag characters HP up of level 5. So that's 1,250 HP increase. Attack up of level 5. I can't remember how much that is exactly, but it is a decent amp. And then speed up of level 5 is about 25 speed increase, which is still really good. And then if 6 or more Driven Slasher characters or 5 or more World Governments are on the crew, self special CT speed up of level 2 and attack up of level 5. So a total of 10 attack up levels to himself, and then also level 2 CT speed up. This increases his or decreases his charge time by 6%. So it's going to be about 2 seconds reduction. So he's going to be a 30 CT unit if you have that tag or class requirement. So 30 CT is not bad whatsoever. But let's see what he's going to do. So first off, targets enemies within a large range for half chance of paralysis for 10 seconds. Now, this is great for his latter half of his special. And the really good thing is that not a lot of characters are resistant to paralysis. Most characters are resistant to either action bind, special bind, confusion, forced out. Paralysis gets kind of forgotten, right? So using this, most of the time, if it does hit an enemy, it will land. It is 50% chance though, so there's a very good chance you can get shafted, and this will only hit like 2 enemies out of the 5. And that's also just considering the fact that it can miss few enemies because it is a large range. It's not targeting everyone on the field, and it is only 10 seconds, but that doesn't really matter because all you need is for the enemies to have paralysis for the special, because targets enemies with paralysis or dot for attack down of level 5 for 15 seconds, speed down of level 5 for 15 seconds, defense down of level 4 for 15 seconds, and then enemies with paralysis 15 times his attack as spread damage. So even if this paralysis only hits 1 enemy or 2 enemies, the spread damage is still going to be really good because spread damage adapts to how many enemies it's targeting. If you're targeting only 2 enemies, each enemy will get 7.5 times Nestro's attack as damage. It's not going through defense. It's not anything too special in terms of the multipliers, but that from a free-to-play unit, this is not even in Assault Rumble. This is just flat how much damage he's doing in regular Rumble, and I think he's very, very good. Defense down at level 4 is very substantial. It increases the amount of damage you do so much. And what's important is that he's doing the defense down before doing the spread damage. So the spread damage will be much more effective, especially since it's not going through defense up, of course. And of course, speed down of level 5 is also very impactful. Attack down, not as much, but it is still a helpful debuff to have. But at the most impactful thing here is definitely the defense down, alongside the spread damage, and he himself is inflicting the paralysis. In the Super Evolved state, I mean, this is before Super Evolution, by the way. This is really good before Super Evolution. This is why I made this video in the first place. So yes, this is definitely a viable strat. Run the 5 Eldest team with the new 5+ NUSJURO that you'll get from the Treasure Map Super Evolution Skulls, and then run the 5-star NUSJURO on a buggy team with slasher driven units like Roger Eligaban, S-Hawk, Dory, and Broggy V1. This could be a very powerful team. I wish I had Buggy so I could test it out for you guys. But yeah, maybe I'll pull him and then we can showcase this in another video. But I will definitely be showcasing this 5 Eldest team. No Emu, but now with the 20 cost Alder, which is going to help so much. So that's about it. Let me just quickly show you guys the 5+ form of NUSJURO, what he exactly does before we end off the video. So I did the calculations here, and NUSJURO in his Super Evolved form, here we have 167 speed stat in his Super Evolved state, and then that gets a 15% amp from the Rumble key. So that'll improve his speed stat up to 192, which is very powerful. Defense only gets a 5% amp, so that's not going to be too crazy, only like 157 or 158, which is still not terrible. I mean, that's what most characters have nowadays. But as I said, now the resistance is going to be 80% chance for action bind instead of 60, and the damage reduction is 20% before the key. After the key, this will be 25%, and I'm not sure if the chance for action bind resistance increases with the key, but if it does increase to like 90%, that's really good, of course, right? At level 5, he's now gonna give a level 6 HP attack. Oh yeah, I actually forgot to show you guys his passive. I'm clumsy, bruh. I forgot. No, I did. Bro, I'm actually so confused. But yeah, both his special and his passive. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly read out what his passive does before the Super Evolution. So driven slasher, world government characters, HP up. No, I did. I already went over this. Bro, I'm actually tweaking, bro. Never mind. So his Super Evolved state, the passive is going to be now HP, attack, and speed up to driven slasher and world government characters. Now, before the Super Evolution, it's level 5. So it's a 1 increase, which is not too crazy. An extra 250 HP, another 5 speed, which definitely is quite impactful in a lot of circumstances. Level 1 attack increase, yeah, it's not that crazy. When there's 6 or more slasher driven or 5 or more world governments, level 3 special CT speed up to himself. The main thing here is that he also gets added assault rumble abilities. That's definitely the biggest amp, and I would say that in assault rumble, the 5 eldest team is going to be more important in terms of damage than that buggy team I showed you. So I definitely recommend running the 5+ form in assault rumble on the 5 eldest team, because this is going to be way more impactful. But yeah, level 3 instead of level 2, so now it's 9% CT reduction. So that's essentially getting him up to about a 29 CT, which is pretty nice, right? About a 1 second reduction. And then when there's 6 or more slasher driven or 5 or more world government, level 6 attack up to self, so 12 in total. And then during assault rumble, level 8 HP up to self, so that's 4,000. No, 2,000. Yo, I'm tweaking, bruh. That's 2,000 HP up because it's 250 per level, and then level 4 CT, a special CT buff to self. So that's stacking, of course, with the level 3. So that's level 7, which is about 21% reduction in his CT. So that's going to bring him down to about it's like a 6 to 7 second reduction. So he's going to be like a 25 CT unit, which is definitely powerful because now his spread damage is 18x. And in assault rumble, he's also dealing extra damage to fighter and powerhouse enemies. So whenever there's like a Luffy boss, mostly all the enemies are going to be fighter or powerhouse, and they're just going to get that extra damage on top of this. And now the level 5 defense down instead of level 4. Also, the debuffs are now level 7 and for attack and speed. So, and it's also for 20 seconds now instead of 15. The paralysis is now 15 seconds instead of 10. It's now a 75% chance of paralysis instead of 50, and it'll hit all enemies in a large range. Okay, so the range still is the same. I got a bit debated there. I thought that said all enemies, but no, all enemies in a large range. So it's the exact same range. But yeah, as I said before, spread damage, it will adapt. It doesn't mean much, even if not all of the enemies are paralyzed, right? It's not that big of a deal. So I think this unit's very powerful. I'm excited to see him used in a Powered Rumble. And yeah, I'm going to showcase this guy with the 5 eldest team for Grand Party that's out right now. And yeah, I think you guys definitely should keep that 5-star form, because even before the Super Evolution, he's still great in regular Rumble. Not so much in Assault Rumble, but in regular Rumble, definitely worth keeping that copy, right? So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Let me know your thoughts, and I'm out.